to this forward.
Discussion more because of rap.
What's it?
Discussion more because of rap.
Yeah. All right. So first and foremost, we'd like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Hashem
Hashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Hashem
Hashem,
Kakarash.
Our honors to the elders and apostles of Great and Stone. Shalom to you, brothers in the highways and byways, preaching, teaching this word in sincerity and in truth. We want to basically do a lesson based upon the whole Jam-Dex, digital payment system, which ultimately, the CBDC, is being rolled out, in Jamaica, or it's been put in play, and we have some articles which we are going through, but this lesson is basically to show that all of this is the framework, right, being set for that, the Motb that's written in Revelation, and that's the end game, to everybody jumped up, with the incision, the man to really, fulfill prophecies, right? So we're going to show you the similarities. We're going to go into that mark in Revelation. I will read an article according to what this what payment system is all about, But let me just let you people out there know, all right? The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native American Indians, right? You are the children of Israel, right? You are the Hebrew Israelite of the scripture speaker, right? The Most High's name is Yahweh, the Son of the Heavenly Father name is Yahushua, right? Those are the names in the Hebrew, right? We are the Hebrew Israelites, right? The biblical Israelites of the scripture speaker, right? Now, our main enemy, right? Chief enemy is Esau, Edom, right? And the end goal, right, of Esau, Edom, which is so-called white man, by the way, right, is to eliminate or eradicate our people, man. And it's based upon for the blessing, right, that was given unto us by our forefathers, right? So now we in this dispensation of time, the blessing still stands. Esau, Edom is still, as scripture referred to that he had a perpetual hatred, right? So Esau still want to upset the blessing because as long as we live, the blessing still stands, right? And then what is the blessing? The blessing is rulership and dominion over the earth. And with all of this system which is being put in place, we can see that he is trying to, what you call it, he's trying to create his own, he's trying to receive the blessing by doing it himself. You know what I mean? What he's trying to do, man, he's trying to upset the prophecies, right? Mainly. So that's why you're seeing him trying to scripture speak of him being like the Most High, right? Ultimate control and dominance, because that was what promised unto us. Right? Scripture said we will be kings and priests and reign upon earth. All nations will have to bow to Israel. So the next superpower to come is not Russia, China, NATO, America, whoever. It's the Hebrew Israelites, the elect of the nation of Israel, through the power and spirit of the Yahushua, right? So this ploy, which we see happening now, all the way you see happening, right, is to bring the whole world into a one world government, right, ruled by the banking elites, going back to Esau, Edom, right, and that is their utopia or dystopia, right? That is their way of manifesting the blessing that was meant for us as rulership.
Dear Kingdom of Heaven.
Their kingdom of heaven, right? So, I don't know.
Revelation 13. This is Revelation 13 verse and start 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
All right. See, so the image of the beast, right? which we know moving towards the beast system, right? See, now we're part of the article. We just jump in that article to show you the Jam-Dex article, you know. Now we are showing the system that are being put in place, you know what I mean, is a system where it's gonna entrap you, you know what I mean, it's a trap. It's gonna lure you in, right? And it's getting you sensitized, right, to a digital society, which is for your detriment, you know.
Alright, this is an article from the Jamaica Observer, dated, let's see, there's no date on this, but legal recently came out. It says, not mark of the beast.
Mhm.
DOJ allays fears of Jam-Dex being tied to the mark of the beast.
Right. Right. So they're distancing themselves, right? Saying so they don't want people to get scared of saying that because you know Jamaican culture. Jamaican culture is a thing where well out here it's a Jamaican culture, but anyway. Out here we have a spiritual sense, you know what I mean? Not according to the scripture, but you ask anybody out here
In
that
religion,
yeah, things like Christianity and them highly. This is a one thing where everybody, where a majority of Jamaican know about, right? That Motb is written in Revelation. You know what I mean? That's the thing where majority of Jamaica, when they hear about this thing, I personally hear a lot of Jamaica speaking that, look, this is it. You know? See, so it's that clear to people, man. But somehow, you know, these men are gonna bring that thing to you, man, right? And how them gonna do it? They're gonna do it in a way where you won't be able to resist, or you won't be able to
much resistance.
can't, can't go down for more than
Yeah. It says, the Bank of Jamaica (BOJ) is advising that its central bank digital currency (CBDC), which is called Jam-Dex, is not tied to the biblical reference of the mark of the beast in any way.
right. See, so this is what they are trying to do. This is what they are trying to say. It's not what tied, right? It's not tied. No, we're not saying that this is the MOTB written. We don't have to quote it up. MOTB, but this, we're not saying that the Jam-Dex payment system is that. We're saying that it's the framework, right? What's the mark? Let me get let's just dig into Revelation. I can get the meaning of the framework and get there.
Because whatever said it not tied into it anyway, that's wrong. Because it's used for the currency that's going to be used. That's why scripture really said, no man might buy or sell, save either of the mark. The Jam-Dex in Jamaica basically with the system implemented, you have the digital monetary transaction being taking place with persons that receive the MOTB. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just go to the definition for it.
It was really good for me. I'm just going to do that. All right, so
So the word mark, right?
all right.
Alright, so the word mark from Revelation 13, verse 16, right? Let's go back to the Greek word charagma.
Mhm.
Isn't it? Which the Greek word charagma is a stamp, an imprinted mark.
All right. So it said a stamp on a printed mark or a badge of servitude, I believe, in some part of the meaning.
We go to the Strong's.
Yeah, when you go in at the Strong's, you find out it said in the lexicon, right? It says a badge of servitude, right? See, so this device, you know what I mean, because John had this vision on the island of Patmos, right? Of things to come, and what he saw, right, was this is the breakdown of the mark when because John got the vision, right, and he had it written down, right. Now, in order for us to decipher that, we had to go back to the meaning of the word, right, just to get what he was talking about or what he saw, You know what I mean? And it's all described in the word mark. Right? So we're gonna break it down and give you a vivid description. And when we do that, you know what I mean, you decipher it, right? Because, you know, whatever men a lot come out with certain things, man, it seems real, you know, and it seems that, you know, that people come with this whole conspiracy theorist bullcrap, you know, or whatever. You know, but the scripture was given to a few with the understanding. Hallelujah, how much Moshe to our elders before us, and we break down the scripture so that we today can come with this understanding to give unto you people as warning. Continue like that.
Fine. So we're continuing it. So, okay. Zoom in. It says a stamp on imprinted mark of the mark stamp on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Zoom in. A mark branded upon horses in carved, sculptured, graven work.
Right.
Right?
So, something branded, man. Something, as you said, when you brand something, you go after ownership, right?
Now, when you go to the root word of charagma, it goes back to charax.
Right.
Which means appeal or state a policy.
Right. So appeal or stick or policy, man, right? Which is a description of a sharp instrument. You understand? And that's the syringe, you know, what I'm going to use to implement that, you know, that thing in your hand, that instrument, that device into your hands. You know, everybody know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Right? When you go into the root word for us,
They go about to grapho.
you have the grapho, right? The meaning of grapho,
To write with reference to the form of the letters.
right? So to write with reference to form of letters, give me the article in the next one.
Yeah, yes.
In others, right? Cool. So what that's speaking about, man, is all of your information, right? Everything about you. This device, which is going to be implanted into your hand, you know what I mean, or wherever, you know, it's going to have all the information about you, right? It will have your history, a payment. It can even detect what you're about to do because it will form, what you call, it will pattern your ways that in the future it knows what you're thinking. They know what you're thinking, I should say, right? So it's going to have it's going to be identification. It's going to be your driver's license, your
Medical
medical
record,
records.
history.
Yeah, it will have your DNA on it, your retinal scan, every single information, right? Biometrical and otherwise, man, it's going to be on that. That is your digital identity to the new system, the Internet of Things, and that's where it's moving, man. But this is what is being rolled out in Jamaica, differently from the Jam-Dex, right? To show you that we're getting closer towards this which is written in the scripture. Read that.
This is an article from opm.gov.jm. This
Office of the Prime Minister.
It says National Identification System,
Mhm.
NIDS. It says, it says the government of Jamaica is designing and developing a national identification system,
Mhm.
NIDS, that will provide a comprehensive and secure structure to enable to enable the capture and storage of personal identity information for citizens and persons ordinarily residents in Jamaica. The NIDS will become the primary source of identity assurance and verification.
The primary way of identity,
So it's quite interesting.
the primary source, guys, that's right. The primary source of identity, man. Because guess what? Even though you have an ID, man, that does not that will not be so in the next couple years or months. You know what I mean? The new way is to have you digitally, um, is to have you connected digitally, basically, right? You're going to be all the information is going to put in a database. You will be known because this applies to everybody. If you follow the prime minister's previous conferences when look, right? he stated that each and every Jamaica have to have an identity, basically an identity, an ID, or whatever, right? And then them say what? Each and every Jamaica have to have a what? A bank account. Saying these are statements we make because guess what? It is moving, and you come back in another press conference and say we are moving towards a digital society. This is not a Jamaican thing. This is happening all over the world. In Jamaica, it's called the NIDS. Over the world, through the world, it's called something else. You know what I mean? Real ID, you know, whatever it may be. You know?
Either India.
Yeah.
I know the I don't know the name still. The Indian Prime Minister and President came out here, you know, to give big news. The Prime Minister of Jamaica to outline how it operates in his country.
Can you do me a favor? You can read back from comprehensive. We're comprehensive in the office.
Yeah, come on up. It says that the government of Jamaica is designing and developing a national identification system and ideas that will provide a comprehensive and secure structure to enable the capture and storage of personal identity information for citizens and persons ordinary residents in Jamaica.
Okay, so the word right here, so the main word that's going to point to is comprehensive. When you look up the word comprehensive, it means including or dealing with all or nearly all elements or aspects of something.
Right.
So the
Aspects
word,
of identity.
Right. Comprehend what you understand. The more of it comprehend you basically. You see me? You are gonna be products. You know what I mean? You are the ones that are gonna be imprisonment into a system. Just like the Matrix. You're gonna be imprisoned. You know, in a prison where you can't hear, see, or feel. If you go down another paragraph down,
Which one? What
what is the NIDS?
What is it? Okay. It says, what is NIDS?
Mhm.
The National Identification System, called NIDS, is a unique, reliable, and secure way of verifying an individual's identity. It will establish a reliable database of all Jamaican citizens and will involve the issuance, of a unique lifelong national identification number to every person. In the long term, the NIN, National Identification Number, may be used alongside a multi-purpose card or be uploaded onto smartphones. The use of biometric fingerprint or retina scan is also being explored.
Right. So a lot of these things, man, and they not speak about even your DNA and all sorts of things, man, the medical records, everything. Right, because this is the reason why you have these pandemics and certain things happening. Right? It's a way over force you to the system what they might create. Everything is that's why you can't believe the eyes because everything is geared towards this agenda. Right? Everything what they might do right now, the payment system, right, the ID, you know, all of these pandemics, you know, it's popping up all type of things all over the place. Since recent one, you know, right, the pox. You know, it's all geared towards pushing the people to this new agenda, man, right? So, yeah.
Ezekiel 28:3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel.
Mhm.
There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
That's right.
With thy wisdom and with thine understanding,
Mhm.
thou hast gotten thee riches,
God.
and hast gotten gold and silver
Mhm.
into thy treasures.
That's right. So the scripture speak of them as being what? Wiser than Daniel, man.
Done.
Right? The things what these men are doing, right? The things what these men, the fact that these men comprehend, that finished?
Done.
All right, after you can get Psalms, you know what thoughts? Psalms 64, sorry.
Fine.
All right, so the things that these men sit upon their beds, man, and can see the spirit from the left hand side, right, is dwelling with these men, nevertheless, the spirit from the house watching out, right, giving them the wisdom and understanding to do these things because to hold this thing is structured. You can see that, look, their spirits ministering unto these men, opening these men's minds to really do these things, right?
Fine.
Saying so these men are wise, these men are deep thinkers.
Done. As you mentioned that, we have Yeah, so we have a small article from the IMF.org. It says the article is entitled "Future of Money: Gearing up for Central Bank Digital Currency." It says this was released on February 9th, 2022. It says, "Ladies and gentlemen, friends, let me start by thanking the Atlantic Council for providing a fitting venue to discuss central banks' forays into digital currencies." Word foray means like an attack. It's a rash movement within to something.
Right.
Understand? So the central bank is pretty much moving rapidly into creating a digital currency. Understand? And this is happening worldwide. You see me? As brothers said. They said since its founding in 1961, the council has made important contributions to strategic, political, and economic policy debates. Just like what the brother just said. You see me? Since them founded in 1961, this was how much years ago. They have councils upon councils. This is not only the only body that there is that the so-called white man has created to discuss the development and then future plans where they want to have autonomy over the world.
Right.
You see me? And it's a spirit that work with them pretty much always have them in the mind to gain a certain level of control over the earth.
We can add to what like I say a lot of sectors. The farming. Bill Gates won. I think he's the most the richest person right now. We have the most farmlands. I don't remember. I'm read that
One of the most farmlands in the US right now.
in the US. I wanna. Yeah, it's the man. So all sectors, the food, there are men set up there to govern that, to bring it to what we're speaking about then, right? The health, which we can see right now, the monetary system, every facet alike, they have men set up strategically to bring everything to one agenda, right? And these are the devices what these men are going to use to control those things.
That's what she said. Back in Ezekiel 28:5 said, "By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic as thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches."
That's right, man. So his heart is lifted up. Who can stop him? Right now, it seems that nobody can, man, because I was saying that, man, the Lord set up this man where only him alone can come take him down. No matter how you try to fight, that's why we see other camps or certain other people trying to go up against this man. Some other way than how Bashing our shot, than how shot coming to deliver. It's vain. Because this man is giving a specific instruction. All of these are the Lord's work, using him. So it's just like you're kicking against a prick. Because all of these things must fulfill prophecy, right? So that the Lord can come in, right, and be glorified. Because this leads to the glorification of the Hawashing our Shah.
If it was a system that we can easily get away from, and do one shit, then there wouldn't be need for a deliverer.
Exactly. That's how scripture says. That's how scripture says what he calls it all. This man will cause all, man, back in Revelation, man. He's going to cause all, both small and great, which shall be poor, free and bond, right, to receive that mark in the right and R in your forehead. See? So, it's a thing where it must come to pass, man. However, these men are not common men. These men are not men. These men are deep thinkers. You can bring out the Psalms.
So this is Psalm 64, I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the..." Let me start at verse 1. So hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Right.
So who are the wicked? The wicked is the so-called what? Are the ones who have the top councils in it.
Like G7, the G20, and the Geneva Convention.
I don't know about right now, World Economic Forum.
Just going in that. Because you have the countries that sign over the medical sovereignty to the World Health Organization. That's another secret council. That's where the World Health Organization will basically have control over that each country that signs over the sovereignty, the World Health Organization will have control over their medical practices, like what they, how they control different pandemics, you know?
Because because according to them now, because I see how article now through this, they are now if there's any disruption or whatever, they can send troops from UN over here. You know what I mean, to quell certain things. But just say that man, Jamaica you have never had a sovereignty and never will be sovereign. Right? Is it? So all of this, you know what I mean, it's just Jamaica never have a sovereignty. They've never been sovereign and they never will because you know.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 56 and verse let's see. Start of 10. It says his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs,
Right.
they cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain, from his quarter.
Right. So Angelness and all your cronies, you know what I mean? Both this party and that party, both of them,
OJ team.
the OJ team, each and every one of them, man. You're sellouts, man. You know? You're dumb dogs, man. You are rulers over the nation of Israel. And the Most High will jack you all up, man, because guess what? You're selling the Heavenly Father people, right? Back in a slavery, right? Deeper, which is all prophesied in the scripture, man. But woe be unto you, because you are the one with that prophecy a fulfilled upon them, right? Are one of the persons, you know what I mean, on the wrong side of the fence, because you think that in your mind, right, these men are your friends, are these men are going to save you from the wrath of the Hawabashim of Shai, because the Lord is coming back for his people. The Lord is coming back for his people. So if you think that these men can hide you from the wrath of the Heavenly Father and his Son, you have a next thing coming. Judgment is going to be dished out, right? And if you're found on the wrong side, well, you have already been signing all of these treaties to put your people in deeper slavery, right? To kill, right? The people, man.
Lying to them, telling them that the CDC now lies with the MOTB. That's a straight up lie. That's a direct system set up for it.
Yeah.
I think she's an insider catching Aston Fitz. She say, yo, when you look at it from this one standpoint, you would never know, say, the whole entire thing combined together.
Exactly.
As brother mentioned, the banking sector, the health sector, the food industry sector. All of these things are all strategically planned to come together at one state in the future. So it pretty much aligned with each other, man. That's why right now we can see the food shortages and the food supply is being attacked because that is planned.
Which war is planned also if you can receive. I mean, there's an article, there was a documentary and a book came out that all wars are what? Bankers' war. You know?
Hey, Revelation 20. The devil, they those from prison and go about to deceive the nations, God and make getting them to the bottom.
Because how convenient it is that we're reaching a time where they need to get all of these things together. Then you have a war, we have a quicken them agenda. You know, all of the things we need to be done, this war is pushing that quicker than they would have really wanted to do. Come on. The scripture says, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. There's a reason why we can do the research and we can come out and tell you. See, you're being lied to, you're being deceived by your leaders. And
we got a question if them say the Jam-Dex has no ties and relations with the biblical prophecy, then I would like to know, according to the biblical prophecy, what is the MOTB and what is the beast?
Right.
If the digital system will get implemented right now, have no ties with it, we need to know what is that mark and what is that beast. I want scripture. Wait, say? Quote a chapter in your verse.
Yeah.
I should say now, are we in the last days?
Yeah.
And within these last days, these are the systems that will be implemented. You know, man I get force, small, great, you know, no man shall buy or sell.
Yep.
And simple means that
Exactly.
this is going to be the new currency.
Exactly. Hey, it said no, but we can go in at the whole setup, the Jam-Dex and even the ID. If you are not a part of the grid, that thing where the much have set up, you will not be able to do business, man.
That's it.
You will not be able to do business if you don't have these things. You cannot do business because the world is heading towards this. You have certain places in the United States, all over the world. You know what I mean? Wherein if you do not have them have supermarkets where it's self
England.
yeah, you have supermarkets where you have self-serve supermarkets. You go in, you know what I mean, they don't take cash. You know what I mean? All you have to do is scan. You cannot
Amazon Go.
yeah, and they don't have workers at all. Now imagine if you don't have all of these requirements and you go in there, you see the food, but you can't get nothing.
Hey, it's just like when the lockdown got take place, if you don't be a part of the end system and purchase food from that, you know, or you know one link or whatever, technically you get left out. And those were soft lockdowns. You know, you're gonna come to the point when you go have hard lockdowns, and that's gonna be the medium where people are going to use to be a part of society. So if you don't go on the end system, you know, with a digital currency, or if so they don't want to use digital currency, remember they have large fees and so forth. So it's basically want to create one tight environment. It's like just give up and fuck it.
Hey, that's a good question, Zach. You see me? So they must say, oh, this thing, this Jam-Dex, do have ties with the Motb. But my question is also, how would they know? Did they come up with this plan? Did they come up with the CBBC by themselves, or was it introduced to them by a higher world global corporation? Because if they can't, all the man, most of the things that they are implementing right now are being implemented by foreigners.
Right.
Jamaica cybersecurity operations is being operated by Israel. You understand? The deal we make with Benjamin Netanyahu. So how we know? You wouldn't know me.
Solid question. Oh, you know.
Good question.
Who told you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. So back in the prison in Psalm 64, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Understand? We are hidden from the secret counsel of the wicked. Clearly, Andrew, you are not hidden. Because you don't know what the secret is, you don't know. People are asked about you, you wouldn't know. Because the man that keep the secret from evil you. You understand? If you have sense, you have figure it out. See me? Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly they shoot at him and fear not.
Right. Yeah, speaking about us, man, as my Lord, right? Speaking about, well, the potential elect of the nation of Israel. You know what I mean? Them do them thing in a secret, right? Just like one at a time, everybody make an example. You saw fling a stone, you see, man? And then you hide the man, you see, man? And go so far as it, I help and look at who playing it. You know, so this is how these men work. Them have layers of lies upon lies upon lies. So when you bump one lie, you have another lie to break through. These men are deep thinkers, you know? And them good father of lies, man.
As soon as they're born, speaking lies and hypocrisy.
So them good at hiding things. You know, them will do things in plain sight and you won't even know.
They sit there but he must come in hunter. You know, when I want to come up on you see him and see him come there and run.
Because you have to be
You're
alert.
an animal, you know. Right, but you know, come on and set a trap, you know, when you put a cunning trap, you know, look enticing. Oh, a digital platform, digital society, you know, because in this pandemic we need to convenient, we need to have contactless payments, you know, to stop the spread of these deadly virus and blah 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 shit.
Hey, worse. Right, good to mention that because now the pox of them have a go around that it seems, you know, it reminds me of when you used to have chicken pox and you say if you touch somebody them over
Can't
catch
spread
it. They can spread it. See, man, what would be more convenient than having something contactless where
Exactly.
where you don't have to touch nobody?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So as you said, if you just think and look on these things, you will see that everything is here.
Problem, reaction,
Problem,
solution.
reaction, solution.
Done. You see me? And here's the sinker. It's a verse 5 of Psalm 64. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter.
Right,
They commune of lame snares.
right,
Privily, they say, who shall see them?
right. Do it privately, man.
Done.
Right? And then who shall see them? Man? But the Lord, how watching you shall see. And the Lord, the scripture says what the Lord revealed in secret unto his servants, the prophets. So by default, we know through the Spirit. You know what I mean? And there's a reason why we're coming to your people, right? To our people, matter of fact. You know what I mean? Saying that, look, this is what it is, man. It's no longer a conspiracy theory, you know, right? Because it's out there now, you know what I mean? And the things are plain, but a lot of our people still in sleep. You know, these men don't take a day off, man, and these are the men who actually put you to sleep. You know, the deception runs deep. These men put you to sleep and doing the things, man, and even having it in front of your eyes. The other day, they come out with couple, how much pages of the previous pandemic saying that these are the adverse effects, you know what I mean, of the job where a lot of people line up to take. You know what I mean? And it was so clean and wide and open. And now, the Prime Minister, you know what I mean, and the leaders telling them to go back or prepare for more. When all of the information is out there. So you see the deep sleep of these men have on, I mean, where you can't even think. But a nigga will go on social media, man, you know, and scroll for the most weird things, you know, find entertainment in it. But the same device what you have in your hand, we can bring it towards this information. Because with a lot of these videos, man, I wouldn't want to say hey, it's just for the elect. I just forget you people blood off our hands. You know? See, but there's vast information online, on YouTube from brothers all over the world, breaking it down to the T. So you people, you don't have to do the research. You know, me here, Rush come out the other day from the ZJ Rush, a radio personal, you know what I mean, Sprague Benz, an artist, you know what I mean, coming out, and Rush himself was very frustrated with Jamaicans. You know, it's like him want to give up. I say, yo, one time he say, yo, let me talk about my music. I said that more, you know, because he want to say, yo, you people don't research, you know, and you still keep on doing the same thing over and over, man. You're not seeing that these men are trying to trap you. You know?
It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lame snares privily.
Right.
They say, who shall see them?
Mhm.
They search out iniquities.
Right.
They accomplish a diligent
Diligent
search.
These men search out of each other. I think the brother Yashimai did send us a video the other day how to sell an amigo. Basically.
Yeah, you tell what you know what you can do.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that. But it as to what the brother explained, and them run social experiment on jakes. Find out what them love, find out what them hate, find out how to coerce them into doing things. You know, them sit down and search diligently, man. You know, and how to deceive the minds of our people, man, how to trap them. Right?
Yeah, I think you have the Stock Institute,
Right?
MK Ultra.
Mhm.
When you hear about them things, what do you think they're about?
Mhm.
Social experiments.
Right.
Why? What do you think them run them things like when the ultimate agenda come,
Mhm.
them can create a perfect scenario to get people to do what they want. Just like how them create the boogeyman. Oh, Crown Royal for the scene. The only way to get out the Crown Royal, take the joke. Like what?
And you know, Jay Curry love sweets. You see me? And you know, said them like their life for sweets. You see me? Sweets in terms of wanting money, car, gold chain, the latest girl, all of these things. It was basically a socially engineered plan to make them want these things.
Right.
When you examine stations such as BET versus VH1,
Mhm.
you understand? You notice the difference. Because BET is predominantly like quote unquote black people channel. You notice the rappers them pan it always have gold chain and always have big fat party girl with biggest car and the big house. See, like VH1 now, the white people channel, them just have sing some song on stage with a fucking mic. You see me? So Jake are one of the main ones we have basically run down this thing now. You see me? And we call him the tutor. You see me? Because they have no fucking morals. You see me? They might lose all inhibitions and run down this thing where them have where them feel I can make them life better. Look how what happened at this big scene. You see me? A lot of them come out here because they have to travel, because they have to keep work. They must all sort of excuse, separate and apart from the main reason why they're supposed to have to keep them health. I never hear nobody say, yo, you know, so because I'm health, you take it. Nah. Them say I don't take it because they have to travel, or they take it because they have to secure them job and the family have to eat. So Jake have a run to take it. So as brother them say, yo, Jake has been done over psychologically. You understand? And that's why the scripture comes up and says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Deep. The Hebrew word there go back to the heart, which means the mind. These men's minds are deep. Deep thinkers, man. The scripture says them wiser than Daniel. Daniel was a man who has a lot. Daniel had visions.
Basically was like the president
right,
of Babylon.
Right. You know?
Put over all the affairs of Babylon because one seeing wisdom.
Yep.
So it was no commoner.
Yep. And these men are wiser than Daniel, men according to the scripture.
Them of all the records.
Exactly.
Years upon years, so they know for trick you.
Yeah.
And they know for basically scrape have something and I say I don't eat.
Yeah.
Just like that like the way BOT come out with like, oh I don't eat. What? You don't eat. What is it then? The Motb. These are questions you have to ask. If you start to eat, we need to know how you know, who will tell you, what is it?
Fine.
In our heart, you're saying like that.
Exactly.
So who the fuck is you to tell me nothing?
Hey, funny enough, we know we are say brother, but yeah, the thing is that they might say, yo, the CD is not it, which is true, this is not it.
Yeah.
But then you go ahead and you say it has no ties.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, we know we are saying. You see me, you say it has no ties. You see me, but that is a lie. Because it is one of the as the word would I like to use, linchpin, one of the main factor within the whole framework which are going to lead to this thing. You see me? That is what is going to happen.
Yeah, what do you think the smart city is about? What do you think Big was still a work on the NIDS as we bring out the article? Right? What do you think the N system came about?
Done.
All the work, all of the operations, what do you think other countries are doing? It was only thing for Jamaica to enhance and elevate. Why other countries? Why all the other countries are doing it?
As I said, you have China with social credit score system. If you want to know what Jamaica will look like in the future, right?
Groups over China.
It's China. Google, or go on YouTube, you know what I mean? Type in China social credit score system, right? And even in Switzerland, or Sweden, sorry, you know, all of these things they've reached far. You know what I mean? They're far ahead. If you want to know what Jamaica will look like, but if you do step out of line, you know what I mean, you will be
Points
are going to be reduced from the social credit score. Then you will be blacklisted from certain things. You know what I mean? You can't do certain things, you can't afford certain things. You know what I mean? You will be, your travels are going to be risk, everything that is ultimate control, right? And it's not going to end there because they want to make it more perfect. That's where the mark come in. And you are going to get tagged.
If we can add as well, because we normally notice you have people who always want to travel overseas and then going to get them visa. See me? So therefore, with this system, as brother said, Crips China, see me, social credit score. See me, in Jamaica, they will also have that same social credit score. Because a part of getting your visa, you have to show proof or signs that you're not going to run off within another country. So that social credit score will basically be like a visa or a gate pass to get beyond the borders.
Right.
You understand? So therefore, they will know say, if you make 200 grand a month, they will know if you make 300 grand a month. They will know if you have lands connected to your name.
Right.
They will know if you pay your taxes.
Right.
All of these things are vital towards getting our particular social credit score to be a functioning member of society, so to speak.
And one thing with them always, and one thing with them keep track of too, is your digital footprint. Saying so, if you was a man will go on the internet, basically just looking up random things, but things as like riots, you make certain posts, you like certain posts. You know what I mean? You're leaning towards a rebellious type of vibration. You don't have to say it, you know. Just the things them where you look up daily, the things them where you watch, you know what I mean, and things them where you do. You know what I mean? That can be that them can deduct or blacklist you from certain things. So you want a visa to go nowhere, you're not live Jamaica because of that.
Yeah, probably.
Yep, your problem. And that's how them are going to determine in the future what you're liable to do. You know what I mean? He's a man, it's a risk, you're liable to cause riots and all of these things. You know what I mean? The only thing I want to determine that, they're going to track your history, your digital footprint. You know?
This is Ezekiel 13, verse 1. It says, And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say, Thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, Woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit, and have seen nothing, O Israel. Thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. Ye have not gone up into the gaps,
Right?
neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel
Mhm.
to stand in the battle
Right,
in the
because
day
in the day,
of the Lord.
right. So the day of the Lord is approaching, man. And these men that are set up as rulers, and speak about prophet, from your start to say something before it happens, you'll be known as a prophet, man, because prophets are, prophets are speaking to say before. And Jonas promised our people prosperity or a utopia or whatever, peace and whatever it may be, man. So you're prophesying to the people, but you have not gone up in the edges, man, preparing the people for the day of the Lord, right? And when you prepare the people, you warn, you alert them, you tell them everything that is happening. All of this are come down, we know that this is not your decision, but you don't come out and tell the people that, look, I think something they come out and said Monday.
Yeah.
So it's like about double loose rope on him neck, something like that. You know what I mean? It's like you meet the iron ceiling, you can't go no further, the IMF is on him back and you know what I mean, it's done, it's finished, it's over, this guy that one I said. It's out of man, he can't do nothing. See, Andrew is not bringing out that vibration, he's doing it as if it is him. You know what I mean? And him willfully deceiving the people, right? Leading them down to a path of destruction.
Yeah, but again, that's a big blunder by anybody who run the DOJ. All right, that article that the digital currency is not tied with Motb.
Right,
You're more than wrong.
exactly.
And then I tell the people, guys, if you can say, yo, are we coming out and say, hey, it is time. It is a system right now being built. You show people, say, yo, I read it. Oh, man, this true. That's so close to the end. Where you put your rocking the people to sleep by telling that, oh, no, this not nothing, no end time prophecy. I think you go there, big nose come out and say about an end time they're living in. Not in so many words. So you now tell the people the correct words. You rock them to sleep. Yeah, basically the devil's bid. Verse 6, he said, They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, The Lord said, and the Lord had not sent them, and they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word.
Right.
Have ye not seen a vain vision, and have ye not spoken a lying divination? Whereas he said, the Lord said, albeit I have not spoken.
Exactly. In words, Andrew is pretty much giving a false vision of what the future is. Because you tell the people, you say, oh, there is going to be security. I think Fly Green come out and talk about there won't be any shortage of chicken. You understand? And know about how the economy is going to be alright. But look at it, man. Look on the reality of what is happening. You see, Sri Lanka is over there. They have on basically a few days supply of gas right now. When you think they come to Jamaica, why is it that they might run for try to re-establish deals with Venezuela?
I'm going to try now, put on the menu rubber back.
Exactly.
And then you cut the short.
Why is it that you're trying to do that, man? Is it because you pretty much are trying to draw yourself a little bit further from the cliff when you're already halfway hanging on fire, man? Is it you just have a tilt upon the cliff right now, man? That is what is happening. That is the state of the economy right now, and that is the state of the government. But nevertheless, they are trying to tell people, say, oh, we're fine, like you're a fucking acrobat. Nah, man, this shit are gonna drop off soon. You see me? And it's according to the design made by the leads, and not according to the motto, order of chaos. See me, them a try to create chaos so them can bring in them order. And therefore, Jamaica have to face that level of austerity as well, so that it can bring them order upon the Jamaican population.
That's wicked as hell, man. That's wicked as hell. You try to put your people to sleep. You know what I mean? You try to entrap them into a system where you know what I mean, it's not gonna be for them benefit. Man. There's no way it's gonna be for your benefit. Right? It's a system where will control a facet of your life. It cannot be for your benefit.
Big nose come like Jason and come up with these, yo. Like a wicked high priest.
Yeah, give me the
They want to be high priest.
Yeah.
Alright, Isaiah 9 and 16 says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err,
That's right.
and they that are led of them are destroyed."
That's right, man.
And it's verse 7. Verse 17 says, "Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in your young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is an hypocrite,
That's right.
and an evildoer. Every mouth speaketh folly.
That's right.
For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still."
Yeah, so we call them lead them astray, telling that, oh no, the digital currency not done for with Motb. And when NABT come for the see, no, this not done for the biblical prophecy. You make people them go take it, and then the Most High destroy them. And lead them astray. Therefore, the Most High not join them in the more. Revelation 14 verse 9 and 10 tell exactly what God those who receive them, lead them after this.
Isaiah 28 verse 15 says, "Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell or with agreement. When the overflowing scourges shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and on the falsehood have we hid ourselves."
Right. So these men make lies and refuge, man, right? They make a covenant with what death and hell. And the representative of death and hell, man, is Israel. The scripture say, I think it's a Haggai or Habakkuk. Yeah, it says he cannot be satisfied. Yeah, I mean, cannot be satisfied, man. Cannot be satisfied, man. Yeah, no, he want you. You know what I mean? He want to have control over you, every facet of life. You know what I mean? Your thoughts, everything, man. Want you. And as I said before.
That's why they have what they call predictive programming right now.
Right.
You see me? And they have something called big data. They also have a different career field where they call data engineers. You see me? So they might create different frameworks, more and more complex frameworks to pretty much filter all of this data where they might accumulate. Now, you know, illustrate how you say that. Now you have what they call something there. You have where them do is that they have this thing where them can capture all the data, you see me, and put it in a manner where them can interpret all the things them we are about to as well are going to. You see me? So now right now without this framework you have transactions via cash. You understand? We can withdraw some funds from the ATM and we can go at any store or whatever and buy a moment, and that is untracked. You see me? So therefore if we do that, them now if can basically say, yo, this brother buy 2 pack of toothpaste a day, and he buy 2 pack of toothpaste every 3 months. You see me? But when they depend on the grid, it's a ledger system. You see me? When they depend on the grid, all transactions is tracked. Therefore, they have a better understanding of who you are as a person.
Formal economy.
You see me? Yeah.
And through the blockchain, you know what I mean, everything is out there in the open, as you said. You go basically them can say if you buy a car basically, you can see the previous owner and you can chop everything coming up. You know what I mean?
Hence the reason why they need digital currency. You know, because they can't chop physical
paper
paper.
money.
You know, man, you was buy one second hand car, you know, you couldn't register it or whatever. You don't know.
Exactly. So cherish the deal when you can take out $100 and say, you know, without nobody know.
So, on the link up right now, them say they don't record transaction.
No.
You know, that would them say we believe that you see me, but eventually he saw one track and monitor every single thing. You want to be like the Most High. That's what it leads up to.
And it might be true, so they don't record it. But nevertheless, they want to get it on the grid so that they can implement the recording.
Good words.
Once they catch you, man, I say, okay, it's not recorded. Boom, and get you.
Oh, no, it's recorded because this still going and we need to line one monitor this.
I know we're going to have to record it, you know what I mean, because such. And then when you look, you can't even go back. So, you get caught in a trap.
You change my mind. Too late.
So, you know, finish more like that.
It says, because we have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell or with agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come on to us.
Right. So this is their mindset, man. When the judgment of Yahweh Shem Shai is coming, right? Their mind is that they now will get, you know, caught. Yeah, because Esau, Edom are the one where, you know what I mean, have this sort of thing over their mind. You know, so they feel like Esau can really put them up on the judgment.
Yeah, man, for the destruction, the orchestrated destruction and rebellion from against the Most High.
Right.
And things say, oh no, we're gonna be alright, we're gonna be protected too because we know we do the devil's bid. Not really. You get cheek.
Like we can add up the overflowing scourge, it really come upon the earth right now. Because there is a thing we float around about there only being 10 additional weeks worth of bread because of the lack of wheat from places like Ukraine due to the war. And then you have places like Iran and other countries as well that are cutting or rationing bread. And then they're imposing Iran mainly is imposing a digital coupon system, in which if you're not on that digital coupon system, you won't be able to collect rations basically. So the overflowing scourge will come in the form of famine, but Esau has assured these men and women that when this famine comes, because they know in their secret councils, our leaders have been given the rundown as to what's going to happen, the orchestrated famine, and at the time of Jacob's trouble, how they're going to make it hard on the people so that the people can set their agenda. And our leaders know how harsh it will become, but they have been assured by the world leaders that, look, when we bring this on the people, your family will be protected. You will be protected from this.
Yeah, I think with them is now the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai.
I'm going to make it go
Make it go down because even this war, man, will come.
Yep.
Everything, the Lord used them for orchestrating. But as the scripture said, the Lord of hosts, most of the hosts of the battle. And the scripture says again, the heart of the king is, which is the mind of the king, is in the hands of the Lord. The rivers of water, he puts it wherever he will. So the Lord will use you for doing bidding, man. But when you think that you in control, no, man, this famine of a hit, right? This destruction of a hit. Rioting, race wars, civil unrest, all of that will hit, man. Right? You can't stay unable for you.
Our leaders and our people, they don't fear the Heavenly Father. They fear Esau, the so-called white man, more than the Heavenly Father. And they trust also Esau more than the Heavenly Father. So when Esau says, look, you and your family will be protected, they take that as gospel, not knowing that Isaiah 30 and Isaiah 36 says that warn to them that trust in Egypt. Isaiah 30 and 36 verse 6 tells you it will be as a broken reed. You lean upon it, it's going to break, and it's going to pierce your hand. So for our leaders, you leaders that are trusting in this system, not even in the system, we are trusting in the elites of the system, those who have control over the system. And I mean, what, as the brother said, the Heavenly Father will make it go out the hand, as Job 20, well, Sakia 5 and 12 said, he disappoint their enterprise. The Heavenly Father is going to make it go out the hand, and then Esau is going to look at you and be like, oops. And then cut.
Never trust the enemy.
Never trust thine enemy. Because when things, as it says that, never trust thine enemy. If I go to verse 13, it says that he will laugh with thee and use thee, but when he finds an opportunity, and basically he's gonna betray you. You know what I mean?
So and one of the reasons why I'm trusting them because you see them power.
You
see them power, man. Right? You see the power for them out. You see them be stable because remember I said him is a big
not a small fry
on the world stage. So that means he's now been in certain conversation or dialogue or certain meeting. And he must say, watch out, look, so what that we're going about this stuff. We did that.
We did that.
We did. fall in line and where this is what we need to accomplish. If your country is on board and your country do well by these things, then you are going to be protected from this, that. That's why you hear them come out and trying to voice out against Russia and the whole Ukraine thing, as if they have some sort of power, right? Because they see what the so-called white man is doing.
Of course, it's like you have a big brother, you have a bully at school, the big brother walk with you at school, you're the baddest thing, one of the baddest thing, you know what I mean? And that's why they sided with Donald Trump when Donald Trump and his administration was not recognizing Maduro as a legitimate prime minister from Venezuela.
Backstabbing Maduro, and now we have to run back to it.
Hey, that just plays out Isaiah 36 and 6.
Exactly.
Yeah, now you trust in Egypt. Shit hit, well, not shit hit in the fan in its true essence, but things are getting harsher. You know, I mean, now Egypt, America, you cannot rely on America for assistance. Come on, that's supposed to show you that in the long run, whatever they have promised to you, whatever safety they promised you and your family, you know, I mean, whatever hiding place, you cannot 100% say, oh, you're gonna put your trust in that 100%, even if you do have a trust in it. Yeah, you don't put your trust in that.
Fine.
Finish this. Isaiah 28:16, he said, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, look, I lay in Zion for a foundation of stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believe shall not make haste. And that tried stone, that's Yahushua. Yahushua is the man that you should be putting your trust in. As a leader of the country, as brother say, Michael Manny came up, I've done enough, I've tried enough, you know what I mean? Although Michael Manny seemed to have been, truly for his people, you know what I mean? If you're selling other people, you won't come out and say you've done enough, right? You have no wicked agenda. But nonetheless, if you're afraid of the repercussion of the people, you know what I mean? Hey, you should be afraid indeed because you have them wrong, but guess what? Trust in your Yahushua, right? And do right by your people, even if your own people put you to death, know that you will have a reward in heaven, You know what I mean? You will see a face in heaven because when the kingdom of heaven comes, you will be ashamed for all the wickedness you've done to your people just for money. Right? Verse 17 says, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. You know that hail represents destruction. So when shit hit the fan, right, as I say, it's gonna sweep away the refuge of lies. Then you see that all the lies that you've been, because everything that Esau tells you is a lie. About the safety, or you will be protected, what he will do to ensure that you and your family is good. That 2012 doomsday thing, you get the ark, a space in the ark. There's no space in the ark for you. And when the destruction comes, it's gonna sweep away all those lies that Esau's told you.
Yeah, normalize them to the people too.
And that's why the water did it. He said the water shall overflow the hiding place. That water represents the truth. The truth are gonna reveal the lie onto the people.
Say, oh, we come to destroy, they cover it, past, violation. So, people are really say things for what it is. Because right now, them can't say certain things. But when shit really get rough, right, and them start to see all of this from the beginning, or from now coming up to where they are now, just now it'll be easier.
Oh, sorry, continue. Verse 18, it says, and your covenant, or your agreement, your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall say, then ye shall be trodden down by it. Right?
It's Isaiah chapter 1, and start at verse 23. It said, thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts and falleth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doeth the cause of the widow come unto them. Therefore said the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me I will ease me of mine adversaries,
Mhm.
and avenge me of mine enemies. And
Hey, the adversaries, you know what I mean? The adversaries, because enemy, we have three sides of enemy. You know what I mean? The adversary, Esau, the main adversary, the heathen, and the wicked among our people. You know what I mean? So the Heavenly Father is gonna ease himself of new leaders, because just best believe, we as men, mortal men, we've had enough. You know what I mean? We've seen enough, we've heard enough, and we just want to be easy. You know, like somebody bother you, you just want to get rid of them. That's what
Smoking I know.
yeah, man, yeah. That's what the Heavenly Father is. The Heavenly Father is looking on earnestly because the Heavenly Father loves his people. You know what I mean? Apple of his eye, and to see men that he has set up over his people, dealing with his people like this, not even regarding him. Hey, the Heavenly Father's had enough, you know.
And Yahushua gave the parable, instead of one was one man over yet. What will he do unto his husbandman? The judgment was him, miserably destroy them,
Yes.
and set over some other man who will be and give him fruit in due season.
Even one of the unjust judge, when they really come, say, they receive his man to say, don't listen to my talk,
Yes.
worry me, right? All right, now we do it. You know what I mean? So, it's the same thing. We are that, we are the women who come to the house and say, crying, saying, look, we need these, and,
They more like people they know from identity multiply these characters that come down to brush it.
I mean, them know, you know that this is leading up to the mark of the beast. You can't tell me different. Them know.
Me not like to know what the fuck is the mark of the beast. How you know it?
And the thing is, you have to know in order to tell a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know in order to tell a lie. That's not true.
it says, I will ease me of mine adversaries, and avenge me of mine enemies, and I will and I will turn my hand upon thee, and purely purge away thy just, and take away all thy sin. Very much that about the two-third men from amongst the nation of Israel. Charlie and Joe and say might be one of them, man. Well, you think I look good to be one of the two-third, See me? If you're Esau, just don't say, it's rough than being a two-third. See me? And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning.
Right.
Afterward they shall be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city.
right, afterwards, not before, but after these men be restored. You're thinking about the prophets, men, Isaiah, Jeremiah. I believe that these men are here today in the reincarnation. You know what I mean? So these men are going to be set up as true judges.
Right.
You know what I mean? Starting with the 144,000. Yeah. You have King David and Yahushai. So Yahushai, King David, you know what I mean? The apostles and down. So that's going to be the hard, man. These men are going to be set up, right? Because these men were never truly glorified. You know what I mean? Right? This time around, man, Yahweh washing Yahushai is going to be glorified, and these men also are going to be glorified. These men die as, some of them die seeming to the public as traitors or whatever, man. Right? Even some of our people kill these prophets. So these men are going to be set up as true judges.
Glory of God.
Right? The glory. This is the time of the glory of the prophets, man.
Second chapter.
That's right. So that's the Lord will set up the true leaders and rulers, man, and the host of Israel. These men, right? When you see your angel holiness, whoever came before, right? None of these men have ever truly ruled your people under any sort of righteousness. None at all. You know what I mean? That's you're gonna know, right? Good or righteousness feel like.
They start with speaking the truth.
Exactly. Right. Let's go back to the word. The word is truth.
Verse 27 says, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness, and the destruction of transgressors, Andrew, and of the sinners, Andrew, shall be together, and they that forsake the Lord shall be consumed, for they shall be ashamed of the oaths which they have desired.
Right.
And he shall be confounded, for the gardens that ye have chosen.
That's right.
For he shall be as an oak whose leaf fadeth, and as a garden that had no water. And the strong shall be as tow, and the maker of it as a spark, and they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them.
Hey, and those oaks and gardens represents God, you know what I mean? As scripture says, you shall be ashamed of them. Esau is a God. Scripture talks about in 2 Corinthians 4 and 3
This word.
it can, you know, if our gospel be healed, we speak to them that are lost, of whom the God of this world, the God of this world, you know what I mean? And with the mark of the beast, which, you know, you leaders are ignorantly speaking on the way, the mark of the beast will basically is like the last program, you know, to implement, or the last piece to proclaim himself as God. Because you taking that mark is basically you giving your basically bowing down and worshiping this man and his system, the image of the beast, as God.
Right.
You know? So you shall be ashamed of the oath that you've chosen. If you choose Esau by taking the mark of the beast, if you choose Esau even to be your God, then you will be ashamed of that, yo. You know what I mean? You will be burned.
Hey, God Almighty, Esau gonna save you.
Yep.
Exactly. It's a losing side. Worst side. You want to finish? Alright, so let us before we close out, let's go a little back to the article that we stop halfway. So back in the article from the Jamaica Observer on the Jam-Dex, it says so another paragraph says alright, so read the part about the chip, right? Somewhere.
No, never read it.
Alright, so we say once once the central bank issued Jam-Dex to a wallet provider, you can brothers can stop and interject whatever that's really true.
Can I speak up?
It's
Paragraph.
So it's the issue came up during the Jamaica Observer business webinar recently, which looked at CBDC after it was noted that banks can choose what technology its customers can use in doing transactions with Jam-Dex. Once the central bank issued Jam-Dex to the wallet provider, it's for them to provide that CBDC using innovative payment instrument. It can be a wallet, your smartwatch. It can be a little chip somewhere.
Wait. Ooh. Say that again?
It can be a little chip somewhere.
Somewhere where?
Right?
Yeah,
right on the forehead.
Great. All right, about you.
What the article said though?
It can be a little chip somewhere.
Yeah.
It can be your fingertip. It all depends.
You're
It can
right.
be your fingertip.
That's them hinting to it.
Right.
It's like predictive programming basically, or synthesize that way. What is it? Synthesizing basically. It's like alright, the theme of the article is Jam-Dex is not the mark of the beast, right? But then you're speaking on the innovativeness of it, right? How it can be given to the public, and then they add that little part, it can be a little chip
somewhere.
Come on.
It's not the mark of the beast.
You know?
It can be a little chip somewhere.
Psychology.
It doesn't have to be this.
Yeah, but
That's part even the article when the
Right.
comment was made.
So
That's what it's leading to. A little chip somewhere new.
right.
So pretty much by saying that it have no ties, they might deny that the chip is in Motb.
yeah.
So if they never put it in there, it can give reasonable ability to say yes, that is it.
That's why them tagging. It is not
And
where.
then they put
Type,
it, say,
right.
oh, there's a little chip somewhere,
Right.
so that they can say, oh, this is not it. Because this is a part of the innovation that we're coming with.
You have all our things to look upon. It can be a wallet, smartwatch,
Yeah.
chip somewhere.
You squeeze in, like
yeah,
a
yeah.
vibrate, like a job somewhere. Isn't it?
This can cause make it be convenience. You can pay anywhere.
Yeah. It's like like the deodorants basically. You have the label and the bottle of it, but then if you peel it off, then there's a whole lot more information. If you peel it off, there's a whole heap of information you never know.
You know, so I don't think the double label.
Right. It continues to it can be it can even be your fingerprint, right? It all depends. If it's explained, you noted that the innovation and technology is not to be feared, highlighting that the process is entirely above board. However, the reference to the payment instrument being a little chip somewhere prompted question about Jamaican culture and being very weary. Anything that can be perceived as the mark of a beast. Pantan, the introduction of CBDC requires a cultural shift and cultural change. Takes a little time.
And that's gonna be the chaos. Or break the people, you accept the bullshit.
And this shift what I want to talk about is basically because as we start the lesson, we say a lot of Jamaicans when they hear about certain things, the first thing there's a mark and visa. So that's beginning that's like the culture out here. So no one say, look, not going on this body certain way, the scripture says such. So the basically they want to change that notion. You know what I mean? So they want to shift it to hey, it's just like how the whole LGBT thing, them shift the culture. So people are saying, well, so
things like cancel culture.
Hey.
So
One if we can follow up an article on that because there's an article that was released by the BBC News. It says the microchip implants that let you pay with your hand. You understand? So they mentioned in this article here from the Observer here that the CBDC can be based on placed in a microchip. Now, when you go to this article from the BBC, there's a section there which is a comment from a Dr. Nada Kakabasi, Professor of Policy, Governance and Ethics at Reading University's Endy Business School. He's also cautious about the future of more advanced embedded chips. Says there's a dark side to the technology that has a potential for abuse, she says. To those with no love of individual freedom, it opens up seductive new vistas for control, manipulation, and oppression. And who owns the data? She's pretty much asking a question. Who owns the data? Who has access to the data? And is it ethical to treat people like we do pets? The result, she cautions, could be the disempowerment of many for the benefit of few.
yeah.
In regards to the ethical question, no, it's not. Leviticus 28 and verse 23, it says, you shall make no cutting in, it's like Leviticus 19 and 23, you shall make no cutting in your flesh. Ethics go back to our morals, and we get our morals from the commandments of heaven before you. So no, it's not ethical.
We should have. So, however, the BOJ has debunked those claims, highlighting that no one is being forced to use Jam-Dex because the scripture said it causes it. So you see them know the scriptures. When they read the scriptures and know, say, look, something else.
Hey, but they really don't know the true depths of the scripture.
They don't know the depths, but then,
The scripture said cause it. See me, which is what you're doing. See me, you're preparing because we're causing what the Hebrews is to prepare. See me, you're preparing everybody to use this. When you pretty much set up a system where you cannot get food unless you have the currency to buy the food. What the fuck you expect the people are going to do? They're not buying to it, bro.
If, as I say, if you know all of these devices are, all the things that they implement, you can't be able to function in this society. None at all.
And just like with them stimulus checks.
Right.
How were you able to get your stimulus check? You have to be a part of the system. Your name has to be written down somewhere. See me? When them comes to booms and them start to dish out the stimulus checks through Western Union or through MoneyGram, they pretty much say, everybody are running down, people are dropping their grenade and stuff. So them say, we need to relax the KYC. See, which is the know your client policy. So that what? Everybody can have a account where they can dish out the stimulus check. So this is going to replicate right across the board within all manner of transactions.
I'm pretty when things get adjusted, you know what I mean, and them coming out of good graces as if them are going to issue aid, money by funding or whatever. If you do not have all of these things, you would not be looked at You understand? Whosoever have all of these requirements, them are the one who will get. So that will cause everybody to really rush into it because they are going to destabilize Jamaica so bad. You know, we have a rush. A lot of people have a rush towards it. You see? But let's use to let's get into this. It highlights that no one is being forced to use Jam-Dex and that Jam-Dex will complement and operate alongside other payment options like cash, credit card, and debit cards. For now.
No.
He's a division chief of financial markets infrastructure division of DOJ, Dr. Noblet Panton, says this is one of the cultural issue which will only change over time. Right?
Oh, so pretty much they might do a psychological operation for the people. So then got them gradually try to convince because you can't just bomb rush the thing. You have to use gradualism. So if you just have to put a frog into cold water, you can gradually increase the heat until that shit then.
This is what the article says. He said that is just something that we have to overcome, and it's not only Jamaica that's going through that. Right? Introducing the CBDC requires a cultural shift, and cultural change takes time to come right on board. So we don't fool ourselves to say it's going to happen overnight.
Exactly.
It's education, promotion, right, that we need to be doing, which will affect the change, said Panther.
Exactly, man. So they pretty much all do an operation to effect change. Just like with the NIDs, Andrew came out and said it. He said that if we had an NIDs already implemented, this pandemic would not be so severe in a manner where they cannot assist those who are truly in need. This is something that he said in a press conference. Isn't it? So therefore, having that, we people say, yo, you need you cannot make a good crisis go to waste. So all of these sayings is using all of these things that are happening right now, such as the economic collapse, the big C, as a means of pushing for their agenda. You can clear the seat. They don't need binoculars or goggles or one of them big concave lens of the seat. Clear in front of their eye, man. All they need to do was not my phone.
And that's an effect change. I remember the radio broadcast where they get and group and Jones they started speak on the whole monetary policy and how they never want to become like some countries which are destabilization that are Sri Lanka indirectly. Basically I think even the finance minister or I think that Andrew, but them basically says one of the reasons why they don't want to give out stimulus, because the stimulus they say they don't want to give out stimulus just everybody because that can destabilize the economy. I say one of the reasons why it's because they want to only ensure that only persons who need it can receive it. Like there are persons who still have a job, right? Yet still they're signing up for stimulus and they receive stimulus. And if they just give out, stimulus in a let me say a way where it's not really monitored, right? They can give out way more than them intended to, or they can give out the intended amount, but not the right amount of persons that truly need it can receive it. So I think they can solve that though. Have everybody on the grid, Have everybody on the grid to where they can track all of them information, literally. I mean, if you have a job, if you're currently employed or not, you can check that real time.
If you notice, we kind of always use the term NIDs, and we use Jam-Dex, and we use blockchain, and all of these different terminologies. But in essence, they are different entities in and of themselves, but they are joined together. They make them all operate as one. I think it's better just read that the article say Jam-Dex have a work alongside other transactional methods. The card we use, which is the NIDs, is also a means for doing business transactions. When you go to the bank, you have to use your identification. When you go to the depot, if you do your fitness for your car, your insurance, all of these things, that card will be necessary.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. It ultimately the more to consolidate everything into this checklist.
This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 20. And the beast was taken with him, and with him the false prophets that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone.
So it's a deceptive agenda. It's all deception. Understand? They might tell you and lure you deeper and deeper into a trap so that they can get full autonomy over everything that you do. You understand? When you get these NIDs, right, and you get the Jam-Dex and it becomes more popular, then I'm going to go forward to a different level, which is to bring in the RFID microchip. It's as simple as that. You don't need, as we say, you don't need to study astronomy. If you get the understanding of this, there's a simplicity. We didn't know the scriptures as basically laid it out to us.
Yeah, for us, because trust me, as the scripture you refer to in Revelation, the Lord had broken the seal, and the understanding was given to a few men. That's why in the beginning of the video we give all praise and honor to Yahweh for give us this understanding and bring us back to this understanding of scripture, because it is a privilege, it is a gift, it is something to be treasured, it's an honor to know the things that we know. Trust me, it's and it's short, it's nothing short of a miracle. It is a miracle, man. When you put it against Hooter and everything out there, man, you see that look, it pass. You know? Just let me get two more paragraph and let us wrap up. Within an hour. So it's, in China, for example, wallet providers use quick response QR codes. Users can display this barcode in their mobile wallet app store, and the merchants will scan it to complete transaction. It's really for.
A while ago, you say they have the barcode in the mobile app and it can be scanned to complete transaction. Now, there is a situation where I got a coupon, so it was a digital coupon. First time encountering this coupon. Now, I thought that I could literally just take a picture of it, a screenshot, and bring it to the merchant and then scan it. That was not the case, it was not possible. I had to show them a live reference from the application itself of the coupon to get access to it. Just reference that to say, it's a highly advanced means of technology that they operate. You understand? So,
it's really for innovation and wallet providers to bring that innovation that they can create that wave and demand by customers, and having this the acquisition of a small merchant on board, right? And once we build the ecosystem and persons start to recognize that it works, there will be a gradual shift into Jam-Dex and continues. Right? It's the last part of the paragraph. Sorry. He said, in the meantime, the BOJ is indicating that only wallet providers will have access to customers' information, right? And be able to see transaction. The central banks further disclose that wallet providers will ensure that customer data is protected and kept private. Also, when conducting transaction using CBDC, customers' identity is not recorded. There's that bullshit, because it might not be recorded now, but
He's all in what it is.
I'm just finish the two lines. So the system only records the value of the transaction for authentication purposes.
This is Jeremiah 5 verse 26. 26 is right.
Yeah,
It says, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men.
As the brother reading that article, all we can see is manipulation, you know what I mean? It's not mandatory, but it's compulsory. Right? They must ensure them design the economy, the digital economy, you know what I mean, in a way that if you don't onboard, right, you won't be able to operate, so you just have to get on board. That's the whole cultural shift. It's not a thing of, all right, we're gonna lobby with you or ask you to accept this. No, we're gonna ensure that we put these in place, we're gonna get small merchants on board, And when them say small merchant, you know, them not talk like the wholesale places where mainly like the poorer communities go as well. You might ensure say you have them on board, them digital, banks on board, banks digital, transportation digital. So therefore what? You as the man where they stand offish and then be like, no, I'm not really trust this. You just have to go get on board or find somewhere else.
So like we get on board because you must say, you know, you still do business with the small man.
God,
You can't do business with him.
you can't put the reason in it.
So you say, you know, you get on board or you system shut down.
Go Mars.
So them are laid with, they're setting snares which are traps, you know what I mean? And as it says, they catch men. You know what I mean?
Ball night trap.
Yeah.
They're just like the regular chick with the Maxine, you know.
Yep.
You know, do what we want me to do. We need to trap and they get caught in the trap of wanting to be a part of this world.
Yep.
Verse
Quick,
20.
just as a quick introduction.
Mhm.
See, Ecclesiastes 9 verse 12 said, For a man also not knowing that, for a man also knowing not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them.
Hey, you must set a bird trap it and you just like put the rice on there. Hey, that rice represents the convenience of the Jam-Dex, isn't it?
This is a trap. Walking in, no. Just say the fish are swim. And one day just get caught in the net. Because it's just going on, lollygagging and going on. You know what I mean? The bird, as you said, the rice, and you just follow him. You know, going on, and then boom, you wake up, you get caught in the net.
Remember that scene in the movies where it's like the man try to get a treasure and going on building. Nobody there, the treasure just, you know, nicely well packaged. And you're like, this is easy. Too easy. I said, you just have a kid. Like, seriously, brother, we think we're going to be like, what, really? All this convenience with those strings attached?
For me? Thank you, Master. We can keep it.
Yeah,
Yo.
Let's read Revelation. I will close with it. Revelation 14, verse 9. It says, And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, and that Jam-Dex is a part of the beast system, the image. It says, The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Alright, so that's the judgment written, you know, for the one who will decide to go this way of all the things that we speak about, you know, in this lesson. Decide to go that way, this is the judgment written, right? How much in your shy state is super, so what? My judgment, the words that I speak,
Isaiah 55,
would not return unto me void. So the judgment is already written, you know what I mean? And all of this, you know what I mean? That's the judgment part, you know? So, you know, we think camera about there because we touch a lot of points, you know what I mean? So, with that, we want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, or Hashem, Yahushai, or Hashem, and Karakodash. Give honors to the elders and apostles of great stone. Shalom to you, brothers and highways and byways, preaching and teaching His word in sincerity and truth. Shalom.
Shalom.